Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the 6th episode of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game, where we are playing a solo campaign, utilising the rules purely within the base core rulebook that was kindly sent to me by Free League Publishing. They're enough as it is. You could supplement them with other things probably, but it seems to be working fine so far for the 6th episode. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are a regular viewer and a subscriber, thank you very much. You are very much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. You get to know when I'm releasing new videos and you get to see what's going on. It also supports me, supports the channel, and allows us to grow and to become more flourishing. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the old thumbs up. And if you have any comments of any way, shape or form, please stick them in the comment box and I like to reply to most of them. And you can also have discussions of constructive nature about the rules of the game and how we play it and what's a good thing and a bad thing. So what happened last session? So last session we responded to some rumours of a large supply of food because Kai and Simon, our two survivors, who are the only two survivors of a haven that fell, are running out of food, or were running out of food, so they managed to go down. Now they got this rumour from a solo traveller who they did some trading with and trading information. Now they bumped into two members of the Crimson Brotherhood who were dressed all in red like ninjas. Tried to speak to them to get some information about who the Crimson Brotherhood was, because Simon is a psychologist who is interested in the survivors and curious. We could get no information out of the two gentlemen who were loading up supplies into a car, and so a combat ensued and they were killed. Walkers, car, escape, everything's fine. So what we will do for session 6, we will start with our monologue. So Simon at the moment has 7 experience points. We'll start with a monologue and then we'll roll a double low for experience points, and we'll see if we can get to 10, and then we'll get 1 point in range combat, which might be useful for this session. We never know. So the two men in red. That's all I know to know you, because you wouldn't speak to us, would you? The two men in red. What were you doing dressed in red? We think you could be members of the Crimson Brotherhood, but we don't know. There was rumours about you in the Haven, but we don't know. Amy, poor Amy, she thought we brought you down on us, but we don't know who you are. We know where your base is, so we could come and explore and find out and ask questions. But why didn't you just talk? I would have loved to have picked through your brain. And instead, you wouldn't speak. And now a walker's peeking through your brain. See? You just needed to answer my questions. Next time, hopefully you will, and I can find out who you are and what makes you tick, rather than your heart, of course, which again, some walker is working his way through. So what we do is we then get a double low in experience points. We're really looking for a 3. A 6 and a 3. Who could have been so fortunate? So that will give us 10 experience points. We can then spend that 10 experience points on 1 for our range combat, which will give us 1 point in range combat, which means at least our assault rifles are useful to us. So just to recap, this is the area where we found the food. These are the areas around nearby us. We have the vets where we've got our advanced medical supplies. We've got the library at the Western Sydney University. There's a bunch of prisons down here which are burnt. There might be something useful there. This is where the Costco's is, where we know there is people, and the Marsden Park industrial estate. Then this is where the Norse cult, we last saw them, but we don't know where the base is. And this is where our small house is in the Haven in Ebenezer, where there is a historical church. So we will do as we did last time. We will run through the solo play procedure and see how we roll. So how much time has elapsed since the last session? Now I was thinking that we will want to act fast, so we've hidden. We haven't got anyone chasing us as we know, but we have messed around with the Crimson Brotherhood. So we'll say a few days, less than a week. less than a week later. Next we roll for each of our clocks. These are like a Drymer clocks. I have stolen this idea and I've used it in Twilight 2000, which, I think it's our penultimate episode will be already been released. So go through each of the clocks. So we have an army base, which was Rumour 1, which is to the south. There's basically then possibly equipment there and a swarm. We need to roll over for the clock to tick. The clock ticks forwards. So now 4 segments have been filled in. There is the chapel, which has multiple survivors in it, but there is a swarm around there. That stays static. We might need to go and see about that one. There's a dangerous NPC, a survivalist, who is living in the trees. We're not too sure if it's a man or a woman at this point. They have a useful item, possibly a large supply of water that can be used for agriculture. They're living way up north, near where the Crimson Brotherhood is. That rumour does not in progress. There is the mobile lab, which is in the city. So what did we do? So the army base progressed. There's the mobile base in the city, which potentially has a vaccine that we heard a rumour about. That progresses. Oh, we might need to deal with that one then. Then we have the Crimson Brotherhood. They stand at 5. So if we roll a 6, then they are going to do their end game. A 6, okay. We are probably going to have to deal. Our challenge is probably going to involve the Crimson Brotherhood this session. And they are going to come down on us and we're going to have to either run away or we will get into some sort of conflict with them. Maybe we'll head off and then we'll bump into them en masse trying to find us. And finally, we have the Norsemen and they progress as well to having 3 ticks filled in. It says create a rumour if there are less than 6 active rumours on the challenge sheet. We do. We only have 4 at the moment because we got rid of one of them. So a solo rumour is created by we drop a d6 on our map. We see where it lands and then we see what it is. That went off the edge of the map. We got a 3 and the 3 fell between these 2 sectors here. So let's see, so it basically fell a 3, a neutral NPC or faction. Maybe we can have the neutral NPC or faction here, and that is a scientist who may be working on a vaccine. So we've got a scientist, and then we roll second one, a 6, a soldier or military camp. Okay, so we have a military scientist or military scientists. So what's this? This is now a new rumour 5. So there's a rumour of military camp, military scientists working on a cure here. So then we do a few random theme rolls and we see if that sparks anything. Now we kind of know what we're getting, but let's do this anyway. Because then maybe the camp has fallen, who knows? So we'll do 3. So what we've got 3, 3, 4. So column 3, 34, remorse. Maybe they're remorseful because they know that they created the virus in the first place. 3, 44, 3, 44, schism. There's a split in their group. Some are remorseful, some are not. 6, 1, 1, 6, 1, 1, preparation. All right, that kind of works, doesn't it? So the rumour is a group of military scientists. They were preparing because the rumour is that they released the virus and now they're trying to find a cure for the virus. The rumour is that some of the military, some of them have been leaving as it isn't working and they're feeling remorseful. All right, so then we will add that to here. We'll go lab team. Maybe it's like, what's it called? Is it Day of the Dead? Day of the Dead, when there's the underground lab and they're grabbing samples and you've got the scientists who are doing the experiments and then you've got the military who are trying to hold the whole thing together. That's what's going on here. That then becomes our 5th rumour, lab team, military. 1 thing filled in. Back to our solo procedure. Update the Haven's projects. We have no projects because we don't have enough people. Decide on a challenge and activate it. If a faction clock was filled in during step 2, this is likely to be your current challenge. So The Crimson Brotherhood, we said that their end game, we didn't do an end one for the Norsemen. End game, attempt to assassinate the Haven leadership. So the end game is what will happen if we do not confront them or work out. So the end game for the Norsemen would be that they get big, they get too big. They basically, they are a false, they become too big. They become too big and they will just be unable to be dealt with within the area. Okay, that seems more of an end game than our tiny little group of Crimson Brotherhood. So, Crimson Brotherhood, today's challenge, decide on a challenge and activate it. So it's a faction-based challenge, isn't it? We've got the Crimson Brotherhood, this is a faction-based challenge. We are going to, let's see, I think we will start heading down towards Marsden Park and the Costco's, or maybe we'll start heading towards, maybe our original intention is going to be that we will head down and start to explore this bit here and find out, because we're both scientists, we're both medical, we might be able to help them out. There might be somewhere safe. They might accept us because we've both got medical training. We might be able to help them. So we will start heading down. We'll avoid this area and we'll come around this way. So we're going to go to each one of these sectors to come, or like dush, 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 via Hornsby. It's quite quiet, I reckon. Down to Castle Hill. And so when we go into each one, we'll roll theme and we'll see where. So in one of these, we're going to bump into the Crimson Brotherhood, and if we don't get anything that naturally infers it to us, we will do it here. So we know it's going to be one of these sort of encounters in one of these areas, or maybe just one of them. And we'll see how far we get and how far from our haven we get, and what happens in the way. So our first movement would be to Forest Glen. Let's use this one as us in our car. You will be absolutely shocked by how fantastic an artist I am. So we will move into that sector. So the first thing we do when we move into a new sector, so we've loaded up the car, we've just decided to travel down and we're going to ask them some questions. So we're not moving haven, we've secured up the house with supplies, we've taken a few days worth of supplies with us, so as we can go down. And we will then have to do a scout check for each square. Now if we fail, then we might end up saying that this is where that they catch us or they ambush us. So we've got wits of 3, a scout of 2, and I'm going to let Kai help us out. We have no stress, so we have 0 stress. We fail, so can we push this? I don't know if we can push this. I don't know if you can push a scout roll. So basically all it means is that people or walkers in this area will spot us first. So if whatever we roll for this area, we get spotted, we don't get to avoid it. So after we've done, so it's not that urgent that we then push the roll and get stress. There we go. So we've got traveling. Also means that we move 1 less sector. So we could move 5 sectors. So instead we can only move 4 sectors during. I don't know if it's sector by sector or the whole of the journey. But we're only moving down to here, to here. So that's enough anyway. But we'll roll scout for each sector we move into. So let's see what's in this sector. What's the weather like? It's a clear and sunny day today, so that'll be in the whole of this sort of area. Clear sunny day, like every day in Sydney, apart from today where it's muggy. We've had a humidity of 95% this morning. It's rainy and it's like 29 degrees. Wish it was just clear and sunny. We will say, let's describe this area. We'll say that it's ruins in this area. 35. In this area we've got a bathhouse. Oh, that's if we go into ruins. No, we're not going to ruins. Let's see if we have an encounter. We've not been in here before. So, because we haven't had this area before, we roll a double high. If we rolled a 6, it means an encounter. So, hold on, we roll a 6 means pieces. So we enter that sector, Forest Glen. and we don't encounter anything. So we'll go into our next sector. We're just going to travel through here. We're not going to stop because we're heading south. So then we've got our scout, which is, and we'll say that Kai is helping. Again, we have no hits. So if we do have an encounter, we don't spot them before they spot us. A6. So we have an encounter in this sector. So this sector, which actually, this works well, because this is where the Crimson Brotherhood is based. This is the sector where we've got an encounter. So I could roll on the table, which says encounter type, which we will do, just for the giggles. 2 says an NPC encounter, roll on the NPC table, and the next NPC who it is, and the reaction table. Right, we will do that, because what it's going to be is the Crimson Brotherhood have held up whoever this person is, and there's a combat going on between them and whoever this person is, and we will decide whether we're going to get ourselves involved or not. So the NPC who is in that sector and is at the moment, we hear, I don't know, threats or gunshots, is 46. Anne Jackson, who's an actor. We've got Anne Jackson. I'm going to just put 46 and then we'll look it up. Anne Jackson is travelling with 64. The Major, who's a prison guard, 46 and 64. All right, so our prison guard has got ranged combat at expert, manipulation at expert, a scout survival close combat trained. We could do with this dude. Overconfident and fearless. Secret issue, wants underlings to control, will burn down the world to get revenge on an enemy. 2 guns with silencers, body armor, jeep, a hideout, binoculars, 10 rations. Whoa, the Major's decked out. And then we've got Anne Jackson, actor. She's trained in stealth and close combat, never sleeps. Secret issue, voices tell her things. Sword and 2 rations. Okay, so Anne Jackson and the Major. So we've got one who's got close combat trained, one who's got range combat expert, and then we're in the area. We'll say that we'll start with a threat of 1, and then we're going to have them against a double high of Crimson Brotherhood. 4, okay, that works out. So 4 of the Crimson Brotherhood, CB, are holding them up. We're going to say the Crimson Brotherhood have got close combat at expert, and they've got stealth at trained. And we'll give these ones range combat at trained as well. So range combat at trained means you need 1 hit to beat them. Stealth, we'd need 1 hit to hear them. Expert, we'd need 2 hits. I think that's 2 hits to beat them in close combat. So there's 4 of them. Is that right? Let's double check that. Yeah, we need 2 to beat them at expert. So there's 4 of them, and they're holding up these 2 at Crossroads in Bower Heights, Bower Waters. Yeah, all right. Oh, I like the sound of Fiddletown or Birley. So we'll find a picture of that as well. ILEE place. So it's for future me. It's spelled BERRILEE. That's future me that's editing this. So that's the place we want a couple of photos of, please, so we can all see what it looks like. You, not me in the past. I'm never going to get to see it. Me from the past won't see it, and everyone who's watching it can see where this place is. So a Crossroads or somewhere, Crossroads or somewhere around here, there's been a roadblock. The Major, who had a jeep, it said, is being held up. What was the other stuff he was trained in? I should write the secondary stuff down as well. Scout, survival, close combat. Well, that's why he didn't. So scout, he obviously failed his scout role, and so he didn't. He got caught in this ambush. So we get heard because we failed our scout roll, so they can hear us coming because we didn't get any hits on our scout roll. And so we've now got a bit of a three-way standoff as we're approaching from the side and they're already being held up at gunpoint at this crossroads, and we can hear that they're being asked to hand over all of their stuff, and the major, being pig-headed, is saying no, and they're saying, but we will kill you and take your stuff, and he's going, no you won't. I'll tell you what fella, I'll kill you and take your stuff. That was my vague attempt at a slight Australian accent. So we, being psychologists, are going to try and get involved in this. And as they've noticed us, so over the time I'd have recovered from being battered. I also thought that possibly we would have got a suit of body armour off of probably Private Berman, and because of getting shot, I'm going to suggest I wear it, as I'm the one who's going to go forward and get into conversations with people. And so I'm wearing soft body armour because mainly also we can then see how that works, and we can see how that works. So on I get a -1 to my mobility rolls for moving, and I guess that would also affect moving for stealth as well. So we've been spotted. They see us, we see all them lot. We're at medium range, let's say, and we will they start pointing guns at us. We exit the vehicle and start pointing guns at them. And I am going to say that Simon will start by attempting to manipulate the situation, attempting to manipulate the major first into seeing us as friends and not caring about the Crimson Brotherhood. Now, it's going to take me 2 hits to get a success to manipulate the major because he has expert manipulation. Now, what we will say is that this is the last of the Crimson Brotherhood. These 4 are the last of the Crimson Brotherhood, because we said there is about, I think we said there's, where's my notes? Let's look up my notes. We said there are 1 to 5 members. So if there's 1 to 5 members, we've already killed 2 of them. That means this is the last 4 of their little cult sect. If these lot die, then the Crimson Brotherhood are now off the map. So they're holding us up. So we're going to attempt to manipulate the major into being on our side. Do I give myself 1 extra dice for Kai? Now Kai, only if Kai is trained in something do I give myself 1 extra dice. I now remember, which I think last week I did wrong. Where is Kai? Kai is trained in manipulation, so if I was using that manipulation, then I would get that. So Kai is trained in manipulation, so I get +1 for that. So we get 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we are going to attempt to start shouting down about... we know who these people are. We know who these people are. We've had to face these. These try to steal our stuff off us. These try to ambush us, steal our stuff. Don't trust them. Whoever you are in the car, the 2 of you, the man and the woman, don't trust these people in red. They're murderers. These are murderers and assassins. Don't trust them. Well, that doesn't, and they're sounding. We're going to push this. They're telling us. He's saying, let's see if I can do an Australian. Right there, Cubba. That's an awful Australian accent. It's terrible. He goes, off back on where you're coming from, fella. I don't care what you've got to say to yourself. We'll deal with this. You bugger off. Oh, man alive. I live in Australia. That's terrible. I'm not doing that again. Okay, so a walker and we hit. So we convince the major that we are on his side and he's fine, but the Crimson Brotherhood are getting really shirty. Ooh, are they going to shoot at us? Will they take a pot shot at us to just say shut up? Which might mean, well, let's knock. They take a shot at us, which knocks the threat up to 1. So the walkers are now taking note that there's something that's going on this crossroads, and we're starting to see just the odd 1 or 2 random walker shuffling along in slippers, or with one foot dragging because they've been walking around for a while, so even the shoes have worn down and now the soles of their feet are starting to wear down to nubs. We've seen 1 or 2 starting to show their faces because we're rolling up, but the major is more on our side and more understanding, which makes it a bit more of an equal showdown between the 4 and 4. So now we will turn our efforts to the Crimson Brotherhood, and we're going to start asking some questions of them. And if we don't get a hit, we won't push. We're just going to say that the major tells us to stop dicking around and stop asking stupid questions. And the major turns around and tells us to stop dicking around and stop asking stupid questions. So we're trying to ask questions about who they are, where they come from, where we think their base is. And the major just says, oh, I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not doing the accent. Oh, I'll do the accent. Right there, Cobber. He says, stop dicking around asking... Oh, God, I'm doing Michael Caine. Stop dicking around asking difficult questions. Just blow the bloody doors off. And we will... so then everyone's getting a bit antsy. This is a double low. So we're looking for the low number. Do they open? Yes. Oh, hold on. It's a high, isn't it? Because we want a yes. Do the Crimson Brotherhood have enough and start shooting? So this is for a high. 4 is just a plain yes. 4, 5 is yes. 6 is oh yes. So a couple of them will start opening fire on us because we're causing hassles, and everyone will scatter, and we'll have a little gun shootout occurring. So we're equals. We now know how to fire. Well, I now know how to fire assault rifles, and so does the major. But we will just do it that they are. So they're trained, and we are trained. Now, who will take the damage? So I'm just rolling for... I don't know how this works with groups because it's solo combat instead of groups of people. So we will do it that we're attacking them, they're attacking us. I need 2 hits. So I get 3 for my agility, 1 for ranged combat, 3 for the assault rifle. I have 1 stress dice at the moment. And we will say... So shall we say that's that now? Oh, hold on. Now I've got the major on my side, don't I? And the major is trained in ranged combat. He's got an expert at ranged combat, which I think means that I can add 2 dice. Well, let's just say, so he's trained, he's got expert, so I'll have 1 dice because the major is also shooting, helping. We're going to say that because there's 4 of them, we need to get 2 hits to get a success. And every time we get a hit, we put 1 down, which because there's 4 of them. And then every walker is going to knock that up. Once we hit that to 3s and 4s, we might have a swarm to deal with. Wow. Okay. So we get 3 hits. 3 hits is you get more successes than required. You deal damage. Extra hit adds 1. So we dealt normal damage, which is 2 points, plus 1 point is 3 points. So one of the Crimson Brotherhoods gets clipped in the head and tumbles down, and bullets are flying from left and right. And we didn't get any walkers, so they're still milling around, but we don't know. But no one's really taking note. The major is starting to manoeuvre himself around because he sees himself as a bit of a commando. Kai and I are just staying hunkered in the same position where we are. And what's her name? Anne Jackson? Anne Jackson. I wonder if that's Hugh Jackson's relative. She's only got close combat and has no ranged weapons, so that's why she's not really helping at the moment. But she's attempting to slowly move up to get into hand-to-hand combat with them. And we will just do another round of fight shooting. We got the 2 hits that we need. And so another one of them gets shot on... is that one out of the combat? So we'll go for a high. We'll go for the low. We'll go for the low. The low is a 1, so no. So he's not out of the combat. He's still fighting. So there's still 3 of them. There's still 1, 2, 3, but one of them only has 1 hit point left. And we will go through another volley of combat. Anne has moved slightly forwards, so she might be getting to hand-to-hand combat with them. And Kai is trying to reload and keep keep the volleys going. The Major, he's got both his pistols out and has now started to stand up and walk slowly forwards, covering Anne. We've got 2 hits again, which we're going to say the 2 hits doing standard damage is going to put another one, is going to put one of them down, means there's only 2. They're starting to panic a bit that their cult has basically been separated. The walkers aren't really paying much attention. That could be because I think I read out that he's got 2 silenced pistols. So because he's 2 silenced pistols, the walkers aren't really hearing. He's getting closer and scaring the hell out of these 2. I imagine the Crimson Brotherhood as being quite like young teenage lads who are really sort of tripped out because of everything going on. He's getting closer, and Anne with her combat, what did she have? What did I say? She had a sword. She's starting to sneak in closer and about to charge him with a sword. Kai and I are trying not to hit the Major and Anne, but we're going to have to maneuver after this volley. Nobody hits, so no one takes any damage. We're just keeping oh, hold on, that's no one. You fail and get no successes. Only opponent deals damage, so somebody gets shot. I get shot because I've got the bulletproof vest. So I get shot, which is for 2 damage. So you roll 4 dice because I've got a soft vest on for 4 protection. For every hit I get, it takes the damage down by 1. Oh, please be lots of hits. 1 hit. So I take 1 point of damage, bruised damage, as the bullet clips me in the chest, and Kai comes running over. Simon, are you okay? I'm all right. I think it's just bruising. We will then do. We are then going to start moving closer to cut the range down to short range. Anne is basically on top of them, and he's starting to get into hand-to-hand combat with one of them. The other one is still shooting at the Major, Kai and myself, who have been really ineffective. We get 2 hits. We're going to make that as Anne cleaves into one of their sides, slicing through. He screams. We've still got no walkers. Oh, this was the only thing that would roll a walker. He starts screaming. Shall we put that up? Yeah, I think it's only fair. We've been fighting long enough that the walkers are starting to pay attention to us now. He starts screaming, and there's the smell of blood in the air, which then activates the walkers, and they're starting to get riled up. And we can hear sort of more noise coming, and the doors being pushed aside, bins being pushed over, various things being moved aside, and that slow, incessant scrape that we've all come to dread at this time. And the last one is as he attempts to sort of do a retreating maneuver, we get another hit, so we'll take that as being the Major moving forwards and starting to open fire on that one, and he gets dealt with. So we'll just say with 2 hits you get a required number of successes, only you deal damage. So we can, we'll say he's still up, because then we've got one more. Strictly speaking, we're only doing 2 damage and he takes 3 damage. So strictly speaking, well, let's give him a bulletproof vest and see what enemy units he gets. So he's still up. There we go. That gives me one more round. The Major is right on top. Anne has dealt with one. She's on top. The guy is trying to back away from behind the barricades that have been set up for this roadblock. That exposes himself to gunshots. And so one is at least 1 success, but fewer than required. Both deal their damage to each other. So the Major will take 2 points of damage. Actually, let's see how many points of damage. So that was the equivalent of me taking 1 point of damage, and I've already taken 1 point being battered, so that's all right. And then the last guy goes down, and the stuff goes quiet. Now the walkers are available in the area, so we are going to do a mobility or a stealth check. We're going to do a stealth check. Was either of these trained in stealth? I can't remember if Anne was trained in stealth. I think she was. Yes, Anne is trained in stealth and close combat. So being trained in stealth means that I can get her assistance, which is a 2, which is a 3, which is a 1 for her. We've got 1 stress dice. We need to get 1 hit, and then the 4 of us can get to a safe distance and we can talk to each other. We've got 1 hit but 1 walker, so we get to a safe distance, but we also get a walker comes in and attacks us. So it will be against me because that's how this thing works. So we've got close combat, and we've got she is trained in close combat as well. 1 hit, so there are a bunch of walkers. As we start to retreat back to where our car is, and we start seeing they've got their jeep, but we just retreat back to a building to let the walker swarm sort of dissipate. We get ambushed by a handful of walkers, and between myself and Anne, we dispatch them quite quickly, and we don't need to do a walker attack. We are now temporarily in Beryley, which was where that part was, and we are going to start to talk to. What time is it? Yeah, all right. We're going to start to talk to this Anne and the Major, and we will start to explain to them that we're both medically trained. We've got a haven back in Ebenezer where we're quite well equipped, and they're more than welcome to come join us in the house, and we can start to work together. But at the moment, our plan was to move down towards where we've heard this rumour of a vaccine and a laboratory, and find out if we can work out what's going on there. Now there is a rumours table further in here that we could see if they can tell us something, like a rumour that they can tell us where we've got travel. I think it was in the travel bit. Encounters, NPCs, okay, here we've got NPC reactions. Further reactions, the dice rolling determine. Okay, when the PCs meet an NPC, you can roll an NPC reaction table to the right to determine their initial feelings and intentions. Okay, so let's roll this. So we've got, it seems that the lower the number is, the better. So we will do a D6. So we're going to do a double low, right? Because 6 is plans to take what we've got. 5 is hostile. 4 is scared and ready to flee. 3 wants to exchange goods. 2 cautious but curious. 1 friendly or in need of help. Low. So 3 wants to exchange goods, rumours, or something else. Okay, so they want to. So they're willing to talk to us about stuff. So we tell them about our rumour about the vaccine, and that there's a team there who are trying to find a cure. You know, if we go, I don't think much of their chances if we turn up, because so far we've been the kiss of death. But we don't tell them that. Rumours. So we've got 1, 3, 4. So instead, they are going to use. So instead, the Major and Anne are going to roll on the themes table, and they're going to tell us a rumour based on the themes table. So we've got 4, 13, column 4, 13, altruism. Okay, someone's giving something away. 2, 3, 1, table, column 2, 31, hunger. Okay, and what's our last one? 415. 415, assistance. Okay. They have heard rumours. That there is a group heading off this way. They've heard a rumour that there's a group heading down this way, or there's a group round this way, who will provide you with food and give you assistance, and they're really kind. And we ask some questions. And try and work out if it's the Norsemen. So I'm going to roll just a manipulation roll. I'll put my stress dice in there, which is 4, which gives us 6 dice and a stress dice, because we're trying to get some extra information so as we can work out if it is the Norsemen. So if I get a hit, it is. I subtly ask some questions, and then we say to them, look, Anne, Major, we believe that's the Norsemen. They're a cult. They seem to, that based on what evidence we've found, they seem to be cannibals. So that may just be a trap. That may have been a trap that you were told. They will then be quite shocked and happy that we have potentially saved their lives by stopping them heading that way. And well, let's say, because that was good. That was good. Our interactions with them was good. We stopped the Crimson Brotherhood from killing them. So I think maybe we'll be able to get Anne and the Major should join us. Now the question is, do they want to travel down into a Castle Hill, which is another like 2 sectors, another 20 kilometers away, to go and find this vaccine, or do we take them back to the Haven and we end up back at the Haven, and then we can then travel out the next day, because we're not finding anything from that vaccine. But the clock, is the clock ticking on the vaccine? The clock is ticking on the vaccine. Basically, if we have a vaccine, the clock ticks further on the vaccine next session. So the Blood Ninjas are gone. We have dealt with the faction that are the Crimson Brotherhood. The Crimson Brotherhood, we'll leave their base on the map, because we might be able to go and explore their base. We don't know that they've gone such, but we might go and explore their base. So we can also tell the Major. We can tell the Major that we know where their base is. He's going to be all het up and want to go and attack them, and not go and deal with the vaccine, because one of his things was he will kill the enemy. So that then makes my decision for me. We will return to the base. We're going to return to Haven, and the Major is going to next session. The Major will want to go and hit. He's going to want to go and explore the Crimson Brotherhood base and basically get revenge for them attacking us. Now we don't know that there's none of them left, but we will find that out. So I think we've had our challenge. We then return back to base. We will then earn experience points, and that is where we will leave it for today's session. I think we will leave it at that. We have our Haven now has 2 people in it, which I think our current Haven has a capacity size of 1. That may be big enough. Otherwise, we're going to have to think about growing our Haven. Capacity of 1 gives us up to 10 inhabitants. So we are all right for now. But we've now started to get a Haven together to make up for the fact that we destroyed our old one. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. We will join you again next week to see what other shenanigans Simon, Kai, and now Anne and the Major can get up to. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have subscribed, thank you very much indeed. It's very much appreciated. If you have any questions, please put them down into the comment section, and we can have a discussion about how the game works, what sort of things you can see. If you come from Sydney, or you know Sydney, maybe there's some places you would suggest that might be an interesting place to put a rumour, and we can put them there. If you have liked what you've witnessed, please hit the like. Of course, I do not expect anyone to like my Australian accent, particularly if you are Australian. Other than that, I shall speak to you next week for more Walking Dead. See ya.